Hi and welcome back to the channel on our continuing voyage to become better blues players. My name's Mark and in this video we're going to look at blues licks taken exclusively from box position 5 of the A minor pentatonic scale. Now if you don't know what A minor pentatonic's box position 5 is, don't worry about that. We'll explain everything in the video. So the way the video is going to work is, first of all, you're going to see me play an example solo just using licks taken from box position 5 of the A minor pentatonic scale. That's an example solo where I play licks just from that scale but played over a full 12 bar blues, so you can hear all the licks in context and see how they fit. Then we'll come back on the other side and I'll take all the licks apart one by one, show you how to play them so that you can add them into your own kind of lick library yourself. Then what I'll do is I'll actually show you how to play A minor pentatonic box position 5. I'll show you it in two positions, two places, high up on the neck and low down quite here as well. And then what we'll do is I'll show you a few kind of interesting ideas. We'll discuss kind of some of the peculiarities of box position 5. Okay, so to start with, here's an example solo and then I'll come back on the other side and show you all the licks one by one. So here's the solo. So what I'll do now is I will show you how to play all those licks. Now you can play A minor pentatonic box position 5 in two places on the neck. You can either play it right up high up here, kind of between the 14th fret and the 17th fret, or you can play it low down here between the 2nd fret and the 5th fret. Now what I'll do is I'll show you all the licks and how to play them, and I'll show you them in the higher register up here, which is how you've just seen the solo. And then after I've taught you the licks, I'll actually show you the solo again, but exactly the same solo, but just played lower down the neck. Okay, so you can see it in both places, and I'll have tab on screen so you can see it and you can learn it in either register. If you've got a guitar where getting up that high is quite difficult, you might want to learn it in the lower register. Okay, but we'll talk about all that kind of thing a bit later on. To start with, here's the licks. So lick 1 goes like this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and lick 1, same as all my lick 1s. If you've seen any of my videos before, you'll know how this goes. Lick 1 starts in the preceding bar counting in. So on the back, over the backing track, this is, you'll hear a count, you'll hear 1, 2, 3, and then you come in. And the important thing to do is to land this note, 14th fret of the, the G string, to land that note on beat 1 of bar 1 of the solo. So when the song kind of kicks in properly. So your timing is kind of like 1 and a 2 and a 3 and then what you play is this. That note there, that's the root note, that's an A, and you want to land that, as I say, first beat of the bar of the backing track proper. Okay, after the 4 count in. So that's just a little timing thing. I'll show you the actual notes now. So we start G string, where are we? 17th fret. We pull off to 14 and then we hit 17 on the D string. So that goes like that. And then we hit 14 on the G again. So far, what we've got, nice and slow. And as I say, that's the note that you want to land. That's the note you want to land on the big, when all the music starts, when the rest of the band kick in. Okay, and then you're going to hold that, and then you're going to give it a little shake, just to make it sound nice. And then with my little finger, I'm grabbing 17th fret of the top E string. Now, there's an octave between that 14 on the G and that 17 on the top E. So they're actually an octave apart. Both of them are A notes. and we're in the key of A, so the important thing is that we're landing on the root note. As if you've seen my lessons before, you'll know I'm always emphasizing knowing where the root note is. So that's the lick. So I'll do the whole lick nice and slow. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and when I'm grabbing that, I'm holding it for a little while and then I'm just kind of sliding it down. Okay, so lick 2 goes like this. Okay, and here it is. I'll do it again nice and slow. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start by grabbing 17 on the top E, pulling off to 15 on the top E, then 17 on the B string, back to 15 on the top E, and then ending this little phrase with 17 on the B string. So far we've got this. Here it is nice and slow. Okay, and now we're going to play this little phrase. Okay, what we're going to do is 15 on the B string, hammer on and pull off 17 on the B, 17 on the G string, back to 15 on the B string. Put the two together, you get this. Okay, let's do that again, but a little bit faster. Okay, and there's a definite beat there. I don't know if that's coming across in the way I'm playing, but you should be able to kind of feel that pulse. Okay, and then what we're doing after that is we are grabbing 17 fret on both the B string and the G string together. Now you can either do this with the side of your little finger, your pinky, or you can do it with your ring finger. It doesn't really matter. But what you're going to do is you're going to grab that, hold them, pick both of them together, and bend it slightly sharp. Okay, sounds quite dirty. Okay, and basically you're going to do that twice before coming off to 14 on the G string. Okay, let's do that again nice and slow. Okay, as I say, you can do it with either finger, with the ring finger. Doesn't matter. Okay, so put all of that together. This is what we've got so far, nice and slow. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to hit 17 on the D string, back to 14 on the G to end the lick. Okay, so here it is one more time. Okay, there we go. Right, so lick 3 now. Lick 3 is a lot easier than that one. You're basically going to grab, where are we? 17 on the B, push it a whole tone, sharp, pull it back down to where it started from, and then come off to 14 on the G string. And that sounds like this. Okay, now I will admit this lick cheats because every other lick only uses notes from A minor pentatonic. When you grab that 17 on the B string and bend it a whole tone sharp, you're actually going from an E note to an F sharp, and F sharp is not in the key of A, or in the scale of A minor pentatonic. Still sounds great, still works brilliantly well over a 12 bar blues in A, which this is, but I actually just want to kind of confess, I played this lick when I was putting solo together and it just sounded so nice. I thought, well, I'll keep it. So although you're taking a fingering from A minor pentatonic box position 5 because you're getting that note, the fact that you're bending it up to an F sharp and back down means that you're not really actually sticking exclusively to box position 5. But it doesn't matter because it still sounds great. Now, if all of that passed you by, you don't know about the notes and the scales, you just want to learn the lick, that's great. Ignore everything I just said, but I just wanted to make that personal little confession there. Okay, so as I say, the lick goes like this. And what we're doing is 17 on the B string, up a whole tone, back down to where we started from, and then off to 14 on the G string. Lick 3, there it is, nice and slow. Oh, and somebody did ask me about some little tips for bending. Whenever you're bending a note, if you're bending it like a whole tone sharp and you're going to hold it like we just did in that lick, what I would do is never bend with a single finger. Always bend with, say, ring finger, and then put your middle finger and index finger behind it, grabbing the string, and use all three of them to push the note together, because you'll get more strength out of 3 fingers than you will just out of 1. Okay, so you don't bend like this. You see, I can't even do it. You actually grab the note, and I'm placing, where are we? I'm placing one finger per fret, and that's how I'm doing it to get that bend. So it goes like this. I was a little bit sharp, actually, sorry. Okay, and it doesn't really matter wherever I'm bending on the neck. If I'm doing that kind of thing, I'm always getting my fingers in line and using all 3 to bend. So let's take a bend right down here at the, where are we, 7th fret. I'd do the same thing. Okay. There you go, just a little tip on bending. Okay, so anyway, that was lick 3. Lick 4 now goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so important thing about lick 4 is we've moved chord. So all the licks previously were played over an A chord. Chord progression is now moved to a D. So we're going to play a lick that's going to emphasize the note of D. So the note of D is 15th fret of the B string. And we're actually going to use the 17th fret of the G string and bend it sharp to become the same pitch. It's there somewhere anyway. It's really hard to do this when you're kind of doing it slow and trying to do it so deliberately. Much easier kind of when you're in the heat of battle and just playing, and then your ears are attuned to the backing track and your fingers just know where that note is. Anyway, I'm making excuses. So what are we doing? With this lick, we're emphasizing that D note by taking this 17th fret of the G string, bending it up a whole tone, and as we get there, just as we arrive, we're grabbing 15 on the B string. So you get this. Okay, and we're basically going to do that 4 times, 1 on each beat of the bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to grab, keeping hold of 15 on the B string, hammer on and pull off to 17. Okay, so far we've got this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then what we're going to do is, actually, I don't think I'm doing a hammer on and pull off there. I think what I'm doing is, as I've hit 15 off from the last bend, I'm just hitting 17 and pulling off to 15. Okay. Okay. Actually, you could do it either way. You could actually hammer and pull off, or you could just do a pull off. Doesn't really matter. Then what I'm doing is I'm grabbing 17 on the G string back to 15 on the B. Before taking 17 again, I'm bending it up a whole tone and holding it. Before grabbing 15 again. Okay, so that's quite a lot. Let's take that whole section nice and slow. And then what we're doing is we're ending 14 on the G string. Again, our root note, so that's kind of, we're always resolving these licks back to the root notes. It's kind of just the way I play. Not always, but a lot of the time. And then what we're going to do, just to kind of give the lick a little bit of spice towards the end, I'm going to grab little finger, top E string at the 17th fret, making that octave again that we talked about in the first lick. And sliding it off like that. Okay, I'll try and do the whole lick nice and slow now. Here we go. Okay, there we go. So that was lick 4. Lick 4, as I said, played over the D chord. Now we're moving to the back to the A chord. We're going to play this little lick. Lick 5. Really easy, this one. It's just got a little bit of a pull off to start with, kind of the only tricky thing, and the fact that it's a little bit quick. So we're going to start 17 on the top E string, pull off to 15. 17 on the B string, back to 15 on the top E. Back to 17 on the top E, so right back where we started, and you're going to slide that off. Okay, put the whole thing together, you get this, nice and slow. Okay, that was lick 5. Lick 6 now goes like this. Actually, lick 6, before we start, we'll tell you, the chord progression is now going to the E7 chord, to the D7 chord, to the A7 chord, okay? So we're changing chords, and we're going to address that by playing lick 6. So lick 6 goes like this. Okay, so it's taking in notes that emphasize the E, then notes that emphasize the D, and then finally landing on the root note of the A. So the notes that we're emphasizing in this lick, they kind of mirror the chord progression. Okay, lick 6 actually starts exactly the same as lick 2, so we get this thing going on again. So if you remember lick 2, we're starting the same way. Okay, and that is, again, quick recap, 17 pulling off to 15 on the top E, to 17 on the B, back to 15 on the top E, back to 17 on the B string. All of that, I know I went through that rather quick, nice and slow, goes like this. Okay, exactly the same as we played it in lick 2. Then the next piece also goes the same as lick 2. We're starting from where we left off, 15 on the B string, hammer on to 17, pull off, back to 17 on the G, back to 15 on the B. So that whole piece, nice and slow, which is exactly the same as the start of lick 2, we get this. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take this 17 G string, bend it up a whole tone, and then grab 15 on the top, on the B string, and again that's emphasizing the D note. So we get. Then we're going to go 17 to 14 on the G string, before playing 17 on the D, back to 14 on the G, and then doing our thing where we grab top E and slide it down. Okay, so nice and slow. We've got the bit that's the same as lick 2. And then we've got this piece that goes like this. I'll do that second half really slow now. Okay, put the whole thing together nice and slow. Okay, so that was lick 6. We've gone over the E chord, the D chord, back to the A chord. And now what we're going to do is we're going to play over the transition from the A chord to the final E chord in bar 12. And that goes like this. Okay, so again, fairly similar to the licks we've been playing so far. We start 17 top E, pull off to 15, 17 on the B, back to 15 on the top E, back to 17 on the B. Okay, so we start with the pull off. Then we go 17 to 15, 17 on the B to 15 on the top E, landing 17 on the B string, and give it a shake. Nice and slow, goes like this. And the reason why we're ending this lick on that note there is because that is a note of E. And as I said, chord progressions move to an E chord. So emphasizing that move, that shift to an E chord by playing an E note. It really is that simple. Okay, so that was the whole solo. You can actually play the whole thing on here. Okay, you could actually play the whole solo. In fact, let's do that. Here is the whole solo played exactly the same licks, but down a whole octave. And I'll put tab on screen so you can see it. Okay, so let's talk now a little bit about A minor box position 5. If you've seen my other videos, I've done a whole lot on box position 1 and 2 kind of all the time, and then I did a deliberate video on box position 3, box position 4, and this one kind of ends the series really. And we're right up here between the 14th and the 17th fret. So I'll just play the scale for you now, and I'll play it here, and then I'll do the same, I'll play it down there. So yeah, let's A minor box position 5. I just always end on the root note. Okay, so that's it up high. I'll put diagrams on screen so you can see it. Basically, we're going 15 to 17 on the bottom 2 strings, then the next 2 strings we're going 14 to 17, and then the top 2 strings we're going back to 15 to 17. So it's actually quite an easy pattern to remember. Okay, then we go down to, we'll do the same thing down here, and we're starting 3rd fret to 5th fret on the E and A string. Then we're going 2nd fret to 5th fret on the next 2 strings, and then back to 3rd fret to 5th fret for the remaining 2. Okay. Okay, and we'll do the same thing up high up here, going both ways. Okay, so that's where that's them. It's the same pattern, just in 2 different places. Easy way to find it is, if you want to play it down low here, you can think of it 2 ways. First of all, if you know this A7 barcode here, you know that this hangs off the 5th fret. Well, the 5th fret is also where this scale is going to hang from as well. All of the second notes on each string are all going to be on that 5th fret where you're hanging that chord from. The other way to think of it is that actually, if you know this A chord, which you should know this A chord down here, open A. Okay, those notes, those notes, the G string, D string and G string, they are the lowest 2 notes in that pattern. So if I kind of find that one easy to think about. You've got this A chord, you've got the scale hanging off. And I'll be honest, I like that because I'll use that in some of my rhythm playing to know that if I'm playing an A chord, I've got those notes that I can pull out around from that scale. Okay, a little bit more tricky to know when you're right up here, because no one's ever going to play that chord right up there as an A7 chord. But if you did, that's where you hang it off. I just know that that's an A note, and that's my root note, so that's where that hangs. Okay, so the actual pattern itself, and I'll stick to just the high part now, is interesting, or what you need to kind of remember from this is where your root notes are. You've got one here, 14th fret G string, one here, 17 at the top E, and that's really important, and that's why I was kind of mentioning those as we're going through the licks. And in fact, there's a couple of things that make box position 5 a little unusual and sound like kind of nice, and you get licks that you wouldn't get from other parts of the from other box positions is the fact that you've got this really nice octave going on that's kind of easy to grab. Okay, and I mentioned that during the licks, you got it down here, you got the A note down here, index finger, and A note up here, little finger. And you can make that jump, as you saw in, was it lick 1 and lick 4, I think it was, lick 6 maybe as well did that. I think we're making that jump from the upper whole octave. Okay, other nice thing about this is you've got a little two notes stacked together, a flat 5 and a flat 3, sorry no, a 5th and a flat 3rd, which is 17th fret of the B string and G string together, and if you play them and bend it slightly, you get this sound, which is a really nice sound. If you are going to do it down here, you've got this, okay, which again I just think sounds really nice. You don't get those two notes stacked in that way in other box positions, so I quite like that. Okay, and the other thing that I find about this is the actual shape is, because it's so symmetrical, because it's like 2 frets for these 2 strings, 3 frets for these 2, and then 2 for that. It's actually a really easy pattern to learn to play, because it's a very simple shape to remember. Okay, so that's probably all there is to say about it, really. I hope you liked the lesson. This is the 5th in a, well, it's not the 5th, it's actually the 3rd in a series where I looked at box position 3, box position 4, and now box position 5. So if you like this, go and check out those other videos. I got plenty more videos coming up. Big thank you to Patreon supporters who pay for the lights and the cameras and make the whole channel, make me able to do that. If you like it, please hit like, subscribe, all of those kind of things, and I'll see you again.